Wonder what goes there. Something fits in here, but what? Camera, maybe?
Oh, Ethel, do I have to learn this?
Yes, I'm afraid you do.
If I do well, can we play a game?
Yes, but only in French.
Oh.
I need the key.
Forget it. Stay in Italy as long as you want then. Some kind of husband you're proving to be. It's not all in my head. Don't bother.
This must be Mrs. Drake's room. Oh, it's just a parrot. Polly want a cracker?
Not Polly! Lolo! 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 Lolo!
Okay, I get the point. Lulu.
Lolo! 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 Lolo!
Do you by any chance know Latin?
Quiste rogavit, bene vidi vici, semper ubi sub ubi, morituris tetus...
I'll take that as a yes. Would you mind translating something for me?
Fire away!
Bruma?
The longest day of the year is solstitium, the summer solstice. The shortest day is Bruma, the winter solstice. Equinoctium vernum is a spring equinox. Equinoctium autumnalis is a fall equinox. Day equals night. Lulu's always right.
Bye, bird.
Cheerio.
I need the key.
The time has come for closing doors.
Wonder what happened in there. Looks like John Pendleton may have developed some of the plants that are in here himself. Doesn't can't work. This must be some kind of well, but where's the water? A carnivorous plant. Cool.
All settled in? Good. I'm happy that you're visiting Linda, but I know how much you teenagers like your televisions and loud stereos, so I must insist that you act respectfully and civilly while you stay with us. Since my nephew Hugh is away on business, I am in charge of this household, and if there's one thing I cannot stand, it's noise. Hugh's daughter Jane is staying with us and would very much like to meet you, but please try not to distract her. She has her studies and mustn't be disturbed during her lessons.
Is anyone else staying here?
We do not have any permanent house staff, if that's what you mean. The Penvillans have always been self-reliant. We get on quite well without being continuously mollycoddled by a squadron of insipid, gossiping ne'er-do-wells. Now, we do have 2 other house guests. Are Mr. Nigel Mukherjee, who is researching the Penvillan family history in the library, and Ethel Bossany, Jane's tutor.
Do you know what's wrong with Linda?
Oh, Linda simply needs some time to adjust to her new living situation. England is not the United States. We do things differently, or should I say properly, here. The doctor believes it's just a case of nerves.
Her mother told me she refuses to let anyone see her. Is that true?
I don't know, and the doctors don't know. No one seems to know anything. All I've been told is that Linda is unwell and that in her stead, I must look after matters. Now, please, I really do not have time to entertain you. You may have the run of the house, but do not break anything, and refrain from mucking about with items that aren't yours. 2 rules Jane seems incapable of following. And before I forget, our kitchen is being remodeled, so our dining situation is rather unorthodox. I've made arrangements with a local restaurant to deliver meals to us. There should be a programmed number for them on the phone in your room. Feel free to order whatever you'd like.
I'm concerned about that thing I saw outside.
It was purely your imagination, unless you saw a stray dog. But I will not countenance any histrionics about this issue. We have enough to worry about with Linda. And please do not get any ideas about going outside to investigate. I do not want you tracking mud all over this house.
This conservatory is very beautiful, but why isn't there any water in the well?
I'm not quite sure. We never really used it, but it was always full of water. That is until my brother died. And then it just dried up. Most of these plants were brought over by my grandfather. He was quite the adventurer. I remember when he brought back Lulu from the Amazon. At first, Mother wouldn't allow us to play with it because it had picked up too many unsuitable words from sailors. But it gradually learned proper manners.
Can you tell me about Lulu?
Lulu is a very old parrot. She must be over 80 years old. Please be very careful with her, especially if you feed her. Parrots have quite delicate constitutions, you know.
Goodbye.
Run along.
Messing with her plants is probably not a good idea. Do you have allergies, Mrs. Drake?
Oh, yes. Hay fever. Although I'm not at all sure what's worse, my allergies or that medication. It makes me feel as if I'm about to float right out of my shoes. Who's hungry? Who's ready for some nummies?
Did you say something, Mrs. Drake?
Not to you, dear.
Fascinating piece, isn't it? James Penvillan sculpted it in 1591, although it appears that wand was added at a later date. He was quite a flamboyant figure and never married, but one day a child appeared quite mysteriously in the castle, and he took her in as his own. That was Eleanor, and many of the townfolk believed her to be a changeling or fairy baby. Ah, yes. Are you here from the agency? It's about time.
Agency?
Oh, dear. You're not the typist from the spiffy specialty agency, are you? Well, how do you do? I'm Nigel Mukherjee.
Pleased to meet you. My name's Nancy Drew. Are you visiting Blackmoor Manor?
I'm researching the Penvillin family, and Mrs. Drake has graciously opened the library for me. Nothing much has been written about the Penvillins. Until now.
Sounds intriguing.
It might have something to do with their scandalous history. Or perhaps it has something to do with the family treasure.
Is that what you're going to write about?
I'm quite curious about their progenitor, Randolph the Red. He was a brilliant soldier in the 15th century. As a reward for his exemplary military service, he was given the land that surrounds this castle as well as the castle itself. Some say the source of his military strength was a strange stone. Of course, that's all legend, but it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
You said something before about a treasure?
For centuries, the Penvillins have been very secretive. Some believe they're protectors of a fabulous treasure, or of some dark secret. There are several skeletons rattling about in the Penvillin closet. Take, for example, Eleanor Penvillin, tried and convicted of witchcraft in 1650, quite the height of the witch trials here in Essex. It was rumoured that Cromwell arranged the conviction.
But she wasn't actually a witch?
Who knows? Lady Penvillin was a rather vocal critic of Cromwell's policies and helped many of his enemies flee the country. Whether she actually was a practitioner of witchcraft is unknown, although many visitors to the manor during her tenure reported hearing strange, ghostly bells. Some even saw phantom hands floating about the manor, tolling their charmed chimes.
You mentioned some kind of scandal with the Penvillin family?
Well, having a family member burned as a witch can hardly be considered a mark of pride, I dare say. And then there's the whole business with the Blackmoor beast.
Blackmoor beast?
It's a story that's been told for generations out here. During the 1600s, many of the villagers reported seeing a strange beast with red eyes and giant fangs prowling the moors. They asked the mistress of Blackmoor Manor, Eleanor Penvillin, to put a bounty on the beast's head. But, oddly enough, she not only refused, she forbade anyone from hunting the creature. It was rumoured that the beast was Eleanor's husband, whom she had cursed for finding out too much about the Penvillin secret.
When I was walking up to the house, I saw something with red eyes that called out to me.
Really? How extraordinary. Are you sure it wasn't just jet lag?
Positive, and I heard it make this kind of growling sound.
Perhaps it was the cursed husband of Eleanor Penvillin, prowling about the moors in search of lost Yanks.
Very funny. Who are all those paintings of in the Great Hall?
Those are the Penvillins who owned Blackmoor Manor at one time or another.
I'll let you get back to your work.
Goodbye.
You'd Zadorov.
Spasiba.
Do you mind if I use this computer?
No, not at all. But it's very old. Feel free to use mine if I'm not here.
Who's Alan?
Alan Penvillin was a noted researcher in computers and languages. Jane let me into his computer, but there was nothing much of interest on it.
What's the password?
I'm not sure. Those manuscripts are very old and brittle. They date back to the 14th century. Odo Penvillin collected most of them. His father, Randolph, and son Milo were rather more interested in military victories than in book collecting. I doubt you'll find much of interest in there. They're mainly law books. Charles Penvillin was a prominent judge in the 16th century. Sad to say, he lost his son at a young age, left his estate to his grandson, Thomas.
Gesundheit.
Danke. Those are mainly Penelope Penvalin's collections of French novels. She was a patron to a raft of artists, and her salon was quite popular. She was quite the libertine, even kept her maiden name after her marriage.
I'm afraid we're busy.
The key fits, but it won't turn. I need to put some kind of grease in there first.
This is the Drew residence. Please leave a message at the beep.
I don't need to talk to anyone at home.
Head Pub, this is Tommy.
Hi, this is Nancy Drew. I'm supposed to call you if I want some food.
Right. Nancy Drew, out at the old Blackmoor Manor, are you? Coo, you must be Hank Marvin up there. Pity about your kitchen, but we'll fix you up for some Bex and Posh. Just tell me what you'd like.
Okay. What do you have?
We've got some loop-de-loop, bangers and mash, a real fine pinky and perky, and a delicious dog's eye, me fork and knife, just rubber-ducked. Hello?
Could you repeat that?
Sure, we've got some loop-de-loop, bangers and mash, pinky and perky, and a dog's eye, and they're all Robin Hood.
I'd like some pinky and perky, please.
Good choice. Uncle Fred and Johnny Rudder?
Okay.
All right, then. We'll come round and leave it at your Rory. Oh, and we've got no hot potato about, so it may take a bit, but we'll have it up to you in no time. Fish and taters.
We're in lessons right now.
Linda? Hi, it's me, Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew, our friendly neighborhood detective. Well, welcome to Blackmoor Manor. I apologize for greeting you under such unusual circumstances.
And I'm sorry to have to bother someone in your condition.
My condition? What's my mother told you? What her son-in-law keeps telling me? That it's all in my head? That I'm just an unhappy new bride? That I just need time to adjust? I'm tired all the time, my mouth is dry, my vision is blurry, but that's not important. Here's what's important, Nancy. There are some doors that should never be opened. There are some doors that hold secrets which must never be known. That's everything you need to know. Now if...
Mummy, can I come in?
No, you're supposed to be in your lessons.
Lessons are over. I want to meet Nancy.
I said no, Jane.
Okay.
That was my stepdaughter. She can be such a pest sometimes. Anyway, I understand you feel an obligation to my mother, but trust me, there's nothing you can do. You're welcome to stay, but I strongly recommend that you go home as soon as possible.
Please, Linda, just tell me what's wrong. Linda? Okay, I'll let you rest, but I'll be back. I'm here for you if you need me.
Hi. You must be Nancy. I'm so pleased you're here. I'm Jane. I know you've come to visit my stepmom, but I'd love it if you could pop by whenever you get the chance. Oh, we'll have such fun. Let's play a game.
Sure, Jane. What would you like to play?
Let's play this card game I found in your room. Actually, it's Bridget's room. I mean, it used to be her room. I mean, she died like 300 years ago. You can see a painting of her in the Great Hall. She's the one with the telescope. Okay, so you have to match up a pair of constellations. I made all the matches in 40 tries. Try to beat my record.
Nope, couldn't beat your score. That was fun, but I'd like to ask you some questions.
Sure, what do you want to know? About Mummy? I mean, Linda. I do hope you'll help. She's been a bit out of sorts lately.
When did she start getting sick?
I was playing in Mummy's room when she wasn't there, and when I looked up, there was a lady, all dressed in black, putting something on Mummy's nightstand.
The woman left something?
The lady put a note on Mummy's nightstand, but I didn't read it. That's when Mummy started feeling poorly. I don't want to think about that. Let's play a game. It will cheer me up.
Sure. What would you like to play?
Look inside the chest over there and pick a game. My great-aunt said it's a hope chest, so I put my games in there in the hope someone would come over to play. We can play Bull, Constellation Match, Petroglyph Punch, Skull and Bones, and I also have a jigsaw puzzle.
You sure have a lot of games.
I love games. I want to make computer games when I grow up.
How about a game of Petroglyph Punch?
This is a game I bought in Arizona. You have to make as many matches as possible. On your mark, get set, go! Great score!
Have you ever seen anything strange outside?
Once I saw my Uncle Roger's toupee fly off during a windstorm. Talk about freaky.
I mean, have you seen a strange animal outside?
No, but I have heard weird noises like this. Howling. But not like a dog howling, more like something human. I don't want to think about that. It's scary enough having to live in this gloomy place.
Do you think there's a treasure hidden around here?
I highly doubt it. I mean, if there were, wouldn't someone have already found it? When I asked Ethel about it, she said that it's the Penville name and heritage that should be treasured. Ugh.
Do you know what the password is for the computer in the library?
Yes, but I won't tell. Not unless you beat me at Skull and Bones. My friend Hulga bought this for me. It's like Go Fish, but you have to collect 3 of a kind of weird things like zombies and ghosts. You go first.
Do you have any tombstones?
Here you go.
Do you have any witches?
Go dig. Any bones?
Afraid not. Do you have any coffins?
Sorry. Any haunted houses?
Go dig. Do you have any bats?
Nada. Do you have any skulls?
All yours.
Any bones?
Sorry. Do you have any witches?
Nada. Do you have any spiders?
Afraid not. Do you have any ghosts?
Here you go.
Do you have any coffins?
Dig. Any haunted houses?
Get out your shovel. Do you have any spiders?
Here you go.
Do you have any bats?
Sorry. Do you have any skulls?
All yours. A match? You're doing great.
Any haunted houses?
Sorry. Do you have any spiders?
Here you go.
I got a match. Do you have any coffins?
Go dig.
That's a match.
Any haunted houses?
Go dig. Do you have any witches?
Sorry.
I got a match.
Any bones?
Go dig. You got a match. Good for you. Do you have any ghosts?
Nada.
That's a match.
Any haunted houses?
Sorry. A match? You're doing great. Do you have any bats?
Here you go.
That's a match. Do you have any ghosts?
Go dig. Do you have any zombies?
All yours. A match? You're doing great.
Would you happen to have any ghosts?
I win.
You won. Good job. Okay, the password for my grandfather's computer is on his coat of arms, plain as day.
The lady in black you saw in Linda's room, did she look like anyone you know?
Like I said before, I couldn't really see her face, but she was kind of dressed like the lady in the Great Hall.
Which lady?
Eleanor. I know it sounds weird, that's why I didn't want to tell anyone. It's too creepy. Sometimes I wonder if I just dreamed it all up. Mrs. Drake is always saying I have a rampant imagination.
I should get going.
Ta-ta. That's my family tree. Ask me anything about anyone. Go on, ask me.
Odo, that's an odd name.
Yeah, he isn't very exciting, really. Like farming and cows. His son Milo is much more interesting.
Who was Virginie?
She was married to the Duke of Barrowbold and died in the Great Fire of London.
Who was the William who died so young?
He was Edward's little brother. He named his son after him.
Who was Alan?
He was my grandfather, but I didn't know him because he died when I was little. I guess he was nice.
What do you know about Letitia?
Loves plants, hates noise. You can ask her about it. She's usually in the conservatory with her plants.
Who was Esther?
Esther Pemberlin Romberg, born in 1897 and died in 1951. Her friends called her Polly.
Tell me about Rose.
It's a real sad story. She and her granddaughter Rachel lived in France during the war and were killed. Nigel gave that to me when I was in the library once. I think he was hoping it would scare me, but it didn't. I'm too smart to believe in that sort of stuff.
This phone number just might come in handy.
I used that to make cakes for Lulu the parrot. That's why the ingredients are so nasty. Like I would eat mealworms. Aren't you glad we don't have to use that thing to cook our food?
I saw the kitchen. What happened to it?
I guess you could say I happened to it. But it was Ethel's fault. She inspired me to study the oxidation rates of different kinds of cookie doughs. Only my snickerdoodle experiment got away from me.
Do you mind if I make something?
Go right ahead.
It would be rude to use it now. Who's this?
That's my mum, my real mum. She's an opera singer. It's not like she's famous or anything, but she does live in Paris.
What is this book?
Don't know, really. Ethel gave it to me. She said it belonged to my grandfather. Do you think Brady Armstrong is cute?
Each of those cups seems to be associated with a Roman numeral.
That was written by Charles Pemberlin way back in like the 1500s. When I read it, it seemed really familiar, you know? I totally love that show. Isn't Brady Armstrong so dreamy? Total hottie.
Looks like you're learning some interesting stuff.
Bet you wouldn't say that if you were the one who had to learn it.
You had a guinea pig?
Yes, but it died.
When?
I don't know. I'd really rather not think about it, all right?
Oh, you startled me. You must be Nancy. I'm Jane's tutor, Ethel. Hello, Ethel. Jane is very excited you're visiting. You're all she's talked about for the past week. Wow, I feel so embarrassed. I didn't think I'd have a fan club all the way over here. Yes, well, I'm sorry, but I'm in a bit of a rush. I need to go over some things with Jane. Oh, I guess I'll be going then. It was a pleasure meeting you, Nancy. Our paths will cross again, I'm sure.
Felicity, the door! Hello!
How good are you at giving hints?
Tell your troubles to Lulu.
I could use a hint when it comes to that weird star box that's in my room.
Ding dong, sing along. Brigitte's coat, be sure to note. Pretty tune, stars and moon. Favorite night, your delight.
Bye, bird.
Allez, bye-bye. Who's the pretty bird in the mirror?
There goes my cell phone. Hello?
Hi, Nancy. It's Mrs. Petrov. How is everything? Have you seen Linda yet?
Yes, and I'm afraid she seemed really depressed.
I'm just about at my wit's end. I've never known her to act like this. The last doctor that examined her said that aside from a little dry skin, which is not unusual for her, she was perfectly fine.
Maybe she's just unhappy here.
I don't know why. I mean, she absolutely adores Hugh. She was thrilled when they got married and couldn't wait to start a new life with him and his daughter there in England. Something has changed her. Something in that house. Hugh is just as bewildered and upset by her behavior as I am. Please get to the bottom of this, Nancy. You're our last hope.
Where is Hugh?
He was called to Rome. As a diplomat, he's always being called out of the country without warning and without any say in the matter. He'd much rather be there with Linda, although
what?
It's just that Hugh said it hasn't been very easy for him to talk to her lately. Whenever he calls, which is at least once a day, Linda always seems to fly off the handle for no reason, which doesn't make sense. Linda has always been extremely level-headed and even-tempered. She never gets angry. At least she didn't used to.
Who exactly is Mrs. Drake?
She's Hugh's aunt. She's taken care of Blackmoor Manor ever since her brother died. He was Hugh's father. She's a bit of a character.
I noticed.
The way she spends all her time in that conservatory, slouching around, trowel in hand, murmuring to herself. You'd think she was burying something. Or somebody.
Goodbye, Mrs. Petrov.
Goodbye, Nancy. Oh, one more thing. My niece is on call and her husband's out of town, and I told her I'd go over there and babysit if she had to work. So if you call and I don't answer, that's why. Bye.